breaking news which is coming in. The Supreme Court's order on Adani crisis has now been accessed. Remember this after the Supreme Court asked the SEBI to complete its probe in 2 months and has also set up a 6-member committee to look into the three pleas which have been put up earlier, requesting for looking at the red flags as well, which were put up by the Hindenburg, and if there was any stock manipulation amongst other pleas. Let me go across to our legal editor Harish Nair, who's joining us. Harish, what are you picking up? What's there in the order copy I believe you managed to access?
Yes, in fact, the bench led by Chief Justice of India DY Chandrachud has said it's constituting an expert committee to suggest ways to review, improve and strengthen the regulatory mechanism in financial sector to protect investor interests, and that is the primacy, and ensure that it does not become victim to volatility which was witnessed following the release of the Hindenburg report. The bench has said that in fact there has to be full public confidence in the committee, and that is why it is forming a committee. And as and on the most important part is the most important part of the order is the in fact terms of reference that is for the committee. That is, number one, whether there has been a violation of Rule 19A of Security Contract Regulation Rules. Number two, whether there has been a failure to disclose transaction with related parties and other relevant information which concerns related parties to SEBI in accordance with law. Whether there was any manipulation of stock of the prices in contravention of the existing laws, and very specifically says that the above direction shall not be construed to limit the contours of the ongoing investigation, and SEBI shall expeditiously conclude the investigation within 2 months and file a status report within 2 months. Further, SEBI shall apprise the expert committee on the action it has taken in furtherance of direction of this court, as well as the steps that it has taken in furtherance of its ongoing investigation. Constitution of the expert committee does not divest SEBI of its powers and responsibilities in continuing with investigation into the recent volatility in security markets. So basically, Meghna, court means to say that SEBI can go on with its own probe and submit its reports within 2 months. Likewise, the expert committee formed by the 6-member expert committee headed by retired Supreme Court Judge AM Sapre will also submit its report within 2 months. And Supreme Court has once again made it very clear that for the time being, its priority is to protect the investors' hard-earned money, and does not become victim to the volatility like what happened after the release of the Hindenburg report.
Well, do stay on with us. In fact, we have Meenakshi as well, who's joining us with the actual order copy, which Harish Nair, our legal editor, has managed to access. Meenakshi, over to you for the salient points.
Well, yes, Meghna, we have accessed this judgment copy from the Supreme Court. This has been accessed by our colleague Harish. Now, these are the major takeaways. Who's going to be a member of that committee which has been formed by the SC as far as the Adani Rao is concerned? I'm going to read some major points verbatim. It says what really will be the remit of the constituency. It's going to be as follows. First, it's going to be to provide an overall assessment of the situation, including relevant causal factors which have led to volatility in the securities market. Also, the mandate of this committee will be to suggest measures to strengthen investor awareness. It will also investigate whether there has been a regulatory failure in dealing with the alleged contravention of laws pertaining to the securities market, and also it's going to suggest measures to strengthen the statutory and regulatory framework and also secure compliance with the existing framework. What else is this committee expected to achieve? The chairperson of the SEBI is also requested by the Supreme Court to ensure that all the required information is provided to this committee so that they can, of course, meet the goals which the SC has stated above. Also, the honorarium payable to the members of the committee is going to be fixed by the chairman, and it's going to be borne by the union government. That is also a mandate of the Supreme Court. And also the last point, the committee is required to furnish its report in a sealed cover within 2 months. So the finding of this committee will be given to the SC within 2 months. Meghna.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us, Harish, as well as Meenakshi. Let me go across and get you another big breaking news which is coming in. This is the first reaction coming in from the Adani group. In fact, Gautam Adani has welcomed the judgment. He's put out a tweet. In his tweet, he says he welcomes the order of the Honorable Supreme Court. It will bring finality and a time-bound manner. Truth will prevail. Let me go back across to Harish Nair. This is a very interesting tweet which is coming out from Gautam Adani himself. He welcomes the judgment and says that truth will prevail and it's important to bring about finality in a time-bound manner. And that is going to be critical, isn't it? Because the Supreme Court has given 2 months for the SEBI to file its report to this panel, and then the panel will be pursuing it. How much time before we have the final order?
Yes, that's right. 2 months is the time given to both the SEBI and also the Justice AM Sapre led Supreme Court committee to conclude the probe and submit the report in a sealed cover. And the company's reaction, in fact, goes it's in tune with the tone and tenor of the Supreme Court judgment too, because the bench had very clearly said that as of now, it is not going into the criminality. It's not in a way ordering any prosecution or any criminal case against the Adani Group as had sought by the PIL petitioners. And Supreme Court has said that for the time being, the priority is to review, improve and strengthen the regulatory mechanism in the financial sector to protect investor interest. That is the main purpose of Supreme Court, and ensure that it does not become victim of volatility, which was witnessed following the release of the Hindenburg report. So this is in a way the Supreme Court is attempting is to, in fact, improve the regulatory mechanism, and in fact, bench had also repeatedly said that it wished to form an experts committee and refused to. In fact, has said that this is the main immediate aim of the Supreme Court to protect the investor interests.
And it's interesting, Harish, because one of the remits of this panel is also going to be probing the investments made into the Adani companies by the LIC, also probing the subscription to the FPO at higher than market levels, and also probe the loans by the PSBs which were based on inflated share prices. So that's going to be critical as well to figure out if any long-term reforms are also required if there are found to be irregularities here, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. This is one of the, in fact, terms of reference in the judgment. Also, we have observed that this committee headed by Justice Sapre will also have to look into all these aspects also. And this is one of the prayer raised by Advocate Vishal Tiwari, who is one of the petitioners, and had sought that it will the diversion of funds to, in fact, SBI and LIC should also be probed. But as I said earlier, Supreme Court is as of now not looking into the criminality, and it's only focusing on protection of investor interest, and to ensure that there is a robust mechanism to ensure that the hard-earned money of the investors don't go down the drain.
Well, Harish, do stay on with us. Let me go back across to Meenakshi. Meenakshi, we managed to get for our viewers the first reaction from Gautam Adani. I believe he's tweeted it out. If you can just tell our viewers what he says.
Well, yes, Meghna. So now Gautam Adani has tweeted, and this is his first response after the Supreme Court order. What does Gautam Adani say? He says that the Adani Group is welcoming the order of the Honorable Supreme Court, and then Gautam Adani goes to say that it will bring a finality in a time-bound manner. Says truth will prevail. So as far as the Adani Group is concerned, Gautam Adani being rather circumspect at the moment, welcoming the SC order, saying that truth will prevail.